welcome to this week's video. My name's Lynda Gaiao. Today, the background frequency, and for the next couple of days, actually for almost a week, we're going to be sitting in trait 18, which is correction. Now, the root of this is about having the vigilance and the determination in a way to uphold basic human rights, and it brings this energy or this fuel to really be able to pinpoint what is flawed, what needs to be corrected, what needs to be perfected, what needs to be improved to ensure that those fundamental human rights are in place. This particular trait is in the collective circuitry, and what that means is that it's here to be shared at a collective level. What usually happens in most people that are living in their shadow is that they turn the energy of the traits inwards as a tool to perfect or correct themselves, where they see, well, I've got to use this energy on myself. And when we do this, it has a tendency to backfire, because this particular trait can almost have a very critical or almost a judgmental feel to it. So when we turn that inwards and we try to create perfection within ourselves, we can really go through a lot of suffering as a result of this. Ultimately, what this is to be used for is to look out in the world and see where those fundamental human rights are not correct, where they are not working, where they do not bring vitality for us as a collective human species, and to bring correction to that, to bring perfection to that. And when we are invited to share what we see, this is where we can have the most impact. What this trait brings is a gift for critical awareness, this ability to really zero in on the thinking that needs to be changed or corrected, and bring some kind of harmony back into our lives. And it's really this clearing out of the imperfection, so that we can restore vitality to things that really have been corrupted in our lives. There is a fear associated with this trait, and that's the fear of authority. And the roots of this come in from when we look at generations that have come before us. What have they done to generations that are younger, that are really not that healthy, that did not establish the fundamental human rights? And so the challenge comes in, where we are here to either fear authority or to rise up to the challenge, to correct the patterns or the things that generations before us have put into place. Because, as we move through these experiences, we see where the vitality is lost. We see where things are not in balance, where there isn't harmony, where people do not feel respected. And then we can bring this determination to create that correction, to perfect the pattern, so that generations after us can have a better pattern moving forward for their survival. When we come to everything in design, it's really about being in a place where we are operating correctly. And when we're doing that, we will know what needs to be challenged. We will know where things need to be perfected and corrected. However, if we are not operating correctly, there is a possibility of challenging everything and anything, which could just lead to more suffering for ourselves. Or on the other side of the coin, not challenging anything and suffering as a result of that. When we see trait 18 in the context of a business or in a team environment, these are great people to have around, because they really see what's not working. They see what needs to be corrected. They see not what needs to be perfected. They challenge the way that we think about things, and they notice immediately when vitality is lost, where we need to move on or where we need to change how we do something. And so they can be real agents for change. They can really help to restore vitality in a team. But there will always be this judgmental quality that's going to come forward with them. They may feel very critical, but it is precisely their critical analysis and their critical awareness that is a gift, and it's a tool to be used to really help the team to create a secure pattern moving into the future. And now one can see that in a team, this can be a great asset if it's understood and if it's worked with in a way that's healthy for everybody. But when it is seen as somebody constantly challenging you, somebody being totally critical on how things are done, and seeing that as a negative rather as a way to perfect things, then you can see how challenges could arise within the team setting. So this week, what I'd encourage you to pay attention to is how critical and judgmental are you being towards yourself? Are you focusing this energy inwards and trying to perfect yourself? Or can you come to a place where you are witnessing the things that need to be corrected in situations and environments and organizations around you, rather than focusing it on personal qualities or idiosyncrasies or traits that people have? Because ultimately we're here to bring this energy of correction to the collective, to the larger perspective of things. And so seeing what's showing up in the world around you, seeing where you feel this need to bring a correction. And is there an invitation for you to share what you see, or are you just blurting it out? The other thing I'd encourage you to pay attention to is, is there a fear of authority showing up here for you? Or are you feeling this need to challenge authority? Looking at vitality, what has vitality in your life and what no longer has vitality. We can often have this tendency to hold on to things just because they've been in our lives for a while. And this week may be a great week to actually let go of those things that are no longer vital in your life. It may also be a great week to really restore vitality. So working with your decision-making strategy to really anchor into, what to let go of and what to bring correction to. Because this is a collective trait, it ultimately means that we work in synergy with other people. And often, especially when we are wanting to work on ourselves personally, this is not the type of energy you want to turn inwards and really be very judgmental of yourself. And often we are so deep in our own story, in our own dramas of life, that we can't see things in the way that people outside of us can. And so having trusted people in your life that could potentially look at things that you're struggling with and help you to see a perspective that you don't see, they could really help you to critically analyze and bring critical awareness to what needs to bring correction. And in partnership, you could work together to either restore vitality or to let go of those things that really no longer serve you. And ultimately, you can really restore these basic fundamental human rights where you feel like you can live in harmony and where you feel as if there's some security for survival going into the future. One of the other things I would also encourage you to pay attention to is, what do you have the energy to bring correction to? And also looking at where possibly you are avoiding things that may need to bring correction. Especially if you have an open emotional intelligence function in your design, because this is a tendency that we have when it's in the shadow aspect to kind of run away from things that we really should be facing. So as always, trust your decision-making strategy to see what's correct for you. And as you move through this week, just being aware of this correction energy and ensuring that you apply it in as a healthier way as you can. If you've got anything to share, please let me know. If you want to stay updated of the traits activations as they happen each week, then clicking subscribe will mean that you'll get a notification when the next video is released. Until next time, I hope you have a great week. See you then. Bye for now.